There are places that don't need to speak, because the earth, the water, and the stone are already telling stories, where every crack along a cliff face is a timeline peeled back layer by layer, where every branch, every chime in the wind seems to whisper something to those still enough to hear it. China, an ancient kingdom where every mountain, river, and slab of stone carries echoes from 1,000 years ago. Not just the land of the Great Wall or the Forbidden City, but a country that quietly hides away other wonders, treasures of nature, culture, and spirituality that continue to exist silently, as if waiting for an eye deep enough, a heart quiet enough to notice them. In a corner of this land that spans over 1.4 million square miles, there are sacred peaks where emperors once stood to pray in the mist of dawn. There are valleys where 3 legendary rivers run side by side but never meet. There are caves where the colors of ancient Buddhism still cling to stone after thousands of years. And there are villages that feel like they stepped straight out of an ink wash, painting so perfect they almost don't seem real. This isn't a journey to go, it's a journey to pause, not to learn more, but to remember. To remember that the world was once slower, deeper, and beautiful in a way that never tried to prove itself. And if your eyes have grown tired of the obvious, if your mind longs for a place where your heart beats faster, but your breath slows down, then this may be the door. This journey will take you through 18 hidden wonders, places that don't just blur the outside world, but bring the inner one into sharper focus. The Great Wall of China, a ribbon of ancient stone winding over 13,000 miles of mountains, deserts, and plains, is more than just a monumental military fortification. It is the most enduring symbol of Chinese civilization's resilience. Each brick, each moss-covered stretch of wall, is the crystallization of over 2,000 years of history, beginning in the 7th century BCE and reaching its grand scale during the Ming Dynasty. It's said that millions of hands helped build this wall: soldiers, peasants, and prisoners of war. Under scorching sun and in snow-laden winds, they left behind not just a fortress, but a vow carved into stone to defend their homeland to the very last breath. Today, the sections at Badaling, Mutianyu, and Jinshanling draw close to 10 million visitors each year. People climb those 23-foot-high, 20-foot-wide stone steps not only to take pictures or breathe in centuries of history, but sometimes to make a wish, just as generations of Chinese have done at the turn of spring. In the morning mist, small shrines scattered along the wall still seem to echo the prayers of countless souls. And somewhere beneath your feet, the legend of Meng Jiangnu, the woman whose tears for her lost husband caused a portion of the wall to collapse, still lingers soaked into the stones. This is not just a wall, it is the soul of a nation stretching over 171 miles, built with tears, blood, and an unshakable will. Just south of here in the heart of Beijing, an ancient imperial palace still holds the spirit of dynasties past. The Forbidden City, the largest palace complex in the world, sits quietly at the heart of Beijing, like a living memory of imperial power. Once the seat of 24 Chinese emperors, it was constructed in just 14 years, from 1406 to 1420, covering over 7.75 million square feet and housing more than 8,700 rooms, all arranged according to strict principles of feng shui, reflecting the idea of the Son of Heaven residing at the center of earth and sky. Each stone step has witnessed thousands of court rituals, Each vermilion pillar, once gilded in gold, vibrated to the rhythm of royal ceremonies. Empresses, concubines, princes, and eunuchs once lived beneath these glazed tile roofs and have now become legends, anecdotes, and perhaps whispers in the night. They say the walls here still echo with shadows of conspiracies, silent sorrows that were never spoken aloud, and strange sounds in the quiet hours, as if the forbidden city never truly sleeps. Today, more than 16 million visitors walk through the Hall of Supreme Harmony, step along marble balustrades carved with dragons, and pause in the Imperial Garden, a space once reserved only for the emperor. No longer a place of governance, the palace has become a living museum of power artistry and courtly civilization, recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site since 1987. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. Jiuzhaigou, which means Valley of Nine Villages, rests quietly among the mountains of Sichuan at elevations ranging from 6,600 to over 14,800 feet above sea level, spanning more than 177,000 acres. This vast valley is a living symphony of nature. In 18 turquoise lakes, tiered waterfalls, and primeval forests that shift their colors as if the four seasons pass silently through a single painted canvas. Legend says these lakes were born from a sacred mirror that shattered its pieces, falling to earth and becoming 114 crystalline pools. And indeed, the stillness of the water here is almost supernatural. The surfaces reflect clouds and snow-capped peaks with such clarity, it feels as though even time must pause to take it all in. But Jiuzhaigou is more than a natural paradise. It is also a land of ancient traditions. 7 of the original 9 villages remain inhabited, home to Tibetan and Shang communities who continue to live by farming and handicrafts, preserving customs like the Torch Festival, horse racing, and rain-invoking rituals. Tibetan Buddhist monasteries hidden deep within the forested mountains add a quiet, sacred presence like guardians of another world. Before the pandemic, this place welcomed over 5 million visitors each year. Yet no matter how many footsteps pass through, the feeling of standing before Five Flower Lake or the Pearl Shoal waterfall is always the same, as if you've stepped into a fairy tale no one has ever finished reading. The landscape here makes you feel as though you've wandered into myth, a realm where everything is clear, serene, and untouched by the present day. Not far from here in the province of Gansu, nature begins to paint with stone, and the colors become unlike anything the human eye expects to see. Zhangye Danxia, a place where nature doesn't use a brush, but time itself to paint a masterpiece. Across more than 197 square miles in the heart of Gansu province, bands of red sandstone mountains rise in radiant streaks, bending through valleys and sliding across slopes as if someone had poured an entire palette of color across the Earth's surface. These layers were formed over 24 million years ago, each stratum a compressed slice of time now reborn as pigment. Wind erosion and the patient work of sedimentary layering sculpted this landscape into deep ravines, sharp peaks, and painted cliffs of red, orange, yellow, and blue colors, not born of light, but of the Earth's own breath across epochs of quiet transformation. In the afternoon, as sunlight leans westward, the ridgelines seem to ignite in glowing amber, then soften into pale rose as twilight settles over the land. It's a color symphony that can only be felt through a quiet heart. Located near the ancient Silk Road, this was once a crossroads of trade between East and West. Caravans of camels once crossed this terrain carrying silk spices, scriptures, and belief systems. Though the hooves are long gone, their echoes still swirl in the mountain wind. Today, more than 2 million visitors come to Zhangye each year, not just to witness the Rainbow Mountains from viewing platforms, but to feel the sacred silence between these ancient stone forms. This place doesn't shout for attention, it stands still and tells stories. Locals, mostly Han Chinese and members of the Hui minority, live through farming and tourism. In harvest season, small festivals bring warmth to the outskirts, stalls selling grilled lamb, Lanzhou beef noodles and gansu pastries. The sound of laughter, the scent of wood smoke, and the flavors of this dusty land make it all feel lived in, familiar, and timeless. This isn't a painted dream, it's truth layered over millions of years, a work of art unintentional yet more perfect than anything we could design. Every step across this terrain feels like a quiet thank you to nature for being here, for remaining, and for needing no justification to be beautiful. From this surreal landscape, we now continue toward a region where three great rivers run side by side through forests and peaks, yet never meet for the entire length of their journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. The three parallel rivers, where three of Asia's greatest rivers flow side by side through a narrow stretch of forested mountains in Yunnan, is one of the natural world's rarest marvels. The Yangtze Mekong and Nujiang Sowen rivers, each the lifeblood of a different civilization, run parallel for more than 186 miles, cutting through treacherous terrain, yet never once converging. Across a core area of nearly 2.3 million acres and a buffer zone of over 1.8 million acres, this region is home to jagged peaks, deep-cut valleys, and river systems that support one of the most diverse ecosystems in all of Asia. Here you'll find more than 6,000 species of plants, 173 species of mammals, and over 400 bird species, from elusive snow leopards and snub-nosed monkeys to mountain eagles and red goral. But it's not just nature that defines this land. It is also the home of 25 ethnic groups, including the Tibetans, Durung Nu Bai Pumi, and Lisu, each with its own languages, instruments, clothing, and rituals. People here still light lanterns during the flower festival, still wear hand-carved wooden masks at weddings, and still sing as they race boats down the river, just as their ancestors did centuries ago. Tiny villages are tucked into the mountains where homes built of stone perch on wooden stilts, and the scent of hearth smoke mingles with Tibetan chants rising from distant monasteries. To the people here, every mountain is a deity, every river bend a spirit. Nature and spirituality are not separate, they are two sides of the same sacred world. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in 2003, the three parallel rivers is more than a geographical wonder. It is a living, breathing intersection of nature, culture, and time, where millions of years of life continue writing their next chapter in quiet harmony. Deeper into Yunnan and between mountain slopes and glimmering lakes, a peaceful land called Erhai slowly unfolds, where wind rustles through ancient roof tiles and the water lies still as glass. Erhai Lake, the emerald mirror of Yunnan's highlands, stretches nearly 25 miles long and over 4.3 miles wide, sitting at an elevation of nearly 600 feet above sea level. Its name, Erhai, comes from its curved shape like a human ear, but to the Bai people, it's more than a shape. It's a memory, a soul, the origin and end of all the flows of life around it. As the seventh largest freshwater lake in China, Erhai has been the heart of Bai life for centuries. Villages along its shores, marked by white walls, green-tiled roofs, and pomegranate trees blooming in red, form a cultural landscape as vivid as the lake itself. Here, people still gather at traditional markets, still race boats during festivals, and still honor the wedding ritual of 3 dishes and 6 sacred offerings passed down for generations. Jinsuo Island lies quietly in the middle of the lake like an ancient pearl. On its slope sits Putuo Temple, where locals light incense to honor Buddha and their ancestors amid the soft chant of sutras and the lapping of waves. The Bai believe that this lake is guarded by southern deities and that its spiritual energy can ward off misfortune and bless the land with abundance. Today, more than 3 million travelers come to Erhai each year, not just to watch the sunrise shimmering across crystal water, or to enjoy grilled cross-finned fish and rose-scented black tea under the eaves of ancient homes, but to touch a world where faith, nature, and people still live in quiet harmony. This lake isn't just a view to admire, it is a beating heart still pulsing with the rhythm of a culture that has never fallen silent. High on the Tibetan plateau, a crimson palace still stands whispering legends of 1,000 years past through drifting white clouds and the long echo of temple bells on golden roofs. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. The Potala Palace, the most sacred symbol of Tibetan Buddhism, rises above the Lhasa skyline like a dream layered in white and crimson, set against the deep blue of the Himalayan sky. Perched atop Marpo Hill at an altitude of nearly 1,100 feet and covering over 3.9 million square feet, the palace appears as a colossal stupa, a place where heaven and earth draw so close, many believe that prayers can reach the Buddhas directly. Originally built in the 7th century by King Sanxingdui and greatly expanded in the 17th century under the 5th Dalai Lama, Potala served as the winter residence of successive Dalai Lamas. Today it houses over 1,000 rooms, 10,000 shrines, and 200,000 Buddhist statues, each one a silent witness to a culture that has never been forgotten. Every year, millions of Tibetan pilgrims journey here walking clockwise around the palace in the sacred Kora ritual, spinning prayer wheels in hand, murmuring mantras, and gazing into the red-painted walls as if seeking fragments of their own soul. To the people of Lhasa, this is the axis where the seen and unseen worlds connect. During Losar, the Tibetan New Year, thousands of butter lamps light up Barkhor Square, casting a golden glow that seems to freeze time in sacred silence. Today, Potala welcomes more than 2.5 million visitors annually, not only to admire this UNESCO World Heritage Site recognized since 1994, but to feel the breath of a faith that built its fortress not from stone alone, but from unshakable belief. Sanxingdui, three mounds beside an ancient river, once seemed like nothing more than ordinary hills in the Sichuan city of Guanghan. But in 1929, when a farmer stumbled upon fragments of broken jade, and later in 1986, when a major excavation revealed hundreds of bizarre bronze relics, Chinese history was forced to rewrite an entirely new chapter. Across just 4.6 square miles, archaeologists uncovered sacrificial pits filled with long-eyed bronze masks, towering human figures, jade axes, gold leaf fragments, and beast-headed totems cast in bronze objects that stunned the world. They appeared to come from a civilization unlike anything previously known, a mysterious world called Shu, which flourished between the 12th and 11th centuries BCE, then vanished without a trace. Sanxingdui is not just an archaeological site, it is living proof of a once thriving civilization complete with its own religion, rituals, and artistic expression, independent from the traditional Huaxia cultural core. Many of the bronze and jade items were used in sacred ceremonies where people believed gods resided not in human form, but in shapes and metals that carried divine essence. Today, over 1.5 million visitors come to the Sanxingdui Museum each year to marvel at these unsolved masterpieces. Some legends claim these artifacts were gifts from the heavens. Others whisper they're remnants of a kingdom that deliberately hid its wisdom from the eyes of mankind. And while the answers remain elusive, Sanxingdui endures a whisper from deep beneath the soil, reminding us that history is always layered far deeper than we've been told. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. As dawn rises over the east, a sacred mountain still welcomes pilgrims, where clouds, pine forests, and ancient temples together cradle those seeking absolute peace. Mount Tai, the mountain of heaven and earth, has for over 3 millennia been the place toward which emperors of China turn to offer sacrifices, pray to the heavens, and seek harmony between nation and cosmos. Located in Shandong province, this sacred peak stretches across 164 square miles, with its highest summit, Jade Emperor Peak, rising over 570 feet above sea level, once believed to be the closest place on Earth to touch the sky. Since before 1000 BCE, Mount Tai has served as a spiritual epicenter for both Confucianism and Taoism. Nearly 100 religious structures, including 22 temples, 800 stone steles, and over 7,000 ancient stone steps leading into the heavens, have been carved, built, and preserved, each step a ritual, each stone an offering of reverence. It was once believed that only after ascending Mount Tai and performing the Fengshan ceremony would an emperor's rule be truly sanctioned by heaven. Today, millions of visitors each year continue this ascent from the mountain's base to its gate to heaven, not only to witness the sunrise or to pray for good fortune, but to listen for an ancient voice that still echoes through the stone. Among the pine forests and the soft tolling of temple bells, shrines dedicated to Dongfang Taizhen and Bixia Yanjun still carry the fragrance of incense and the rhythms of age-old rituals. Here, faith needs no explanation. One only needs to stand still and listen to the mountain whisper. Mount Tai is not only a symbol of power, it is a place that embodies the harmony between man and mandate, a summit anyone can climb, yet not all are quiet enough to understand. In the mountains of Hubei, a mystical land, the cradle of martial arts and Taoist wisdom, awaits those who seek strength from within. The Wudang Mountains, where Tao and martial arts move as one, are the birthplace of Tai Chi Baguo Palm and centuries of wellness philosophy passed down not just through words, but through the body and the spirit. Located in Hubei province, this sacred range spans over 120 square miles, with 72 jagged peaks, the highest being Tianzhu Peak, rising more than 5,290 feet into a sea of mist and ancient pine. From the Han Dynasty through their golden age, under the Ming Wudang, was not only a Taoist sanctuary but a refuge where thousands of monks, martial artists, and recluses came to train, meditate, and align their lives with the rhythm of nature. It's said that every movement of wind, every ripple of water, every falling leaf became a lesson for Zhang Sanfeng, who drew from these natural patterns to develop the foundations of Tai Chi's inner energy arts. Today, more than 3 million travelers per year make the journey here, not only to hike the 43 miles of winding mountain paths to Tianzhu Peak, or to visit the 32 temples scattered through the forest, but to enter a world where time no longer measures anything, where the golden hall gleams in radiant gold, the purple cloud temple shimmers in fog, and each step over stone feels like entering another dimension. Each morning, while the valleys are still draped in cloud gray, robed monks can be seen practicing their forms along the slopes. Their movements, slow measured, are not displays of strength, but quiet conversations with the universe. Wudang is not a place to showcase brute force, but to cultivate inner stillness, a place where martial arts become self-discipline, and every strike is a reply whispered by nature itself. This is a land where combat, faith, and philosophy merge, where each breath is a ritual of wellness and every step a movement in the way. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. Leaving these sacred peaks behind, we journey now to an ancient city where moss-covered brick walls still stand exactly as they did more than 600 years ago. Pingyao, a modest, walled city nestled in the heart of Shanxi, feels like a place forgotten by time. Covering just under 1 square mile, this small ancient town has preserved its full city wall streets and Qing-era banking system, making it one of the best preserved ancient urban centers in all of China. Built as early as the 8th century BCE and flourishing during the Ming and Qing dynasties, Pingyao was once a booming financial hub of the imperial court and the birthplace of China's first modern bank, Rixingchang. Along its stone-paved streets, over 400 historic residences, merchant shops, and manor houses remain intact, featuring original wooden gates, hand-painted signs, and rows of red lanterns glowing each night. Every corner tells a story of wealthy merchants, of the first bank drafts, of an era where a man's word was more valuable than gold. Along the 3.8-mile-long city wall, topped with 72 watchtowers, visitors can still walk the perimeter, looking out over rooftops of black tile and gray brick, where shadows seem to carry the footsteps of generations past. The Lantern Festival during Lunar New Year and the Peach Blossom Festival in spring breathe life back into the bustling spirit of this former inland trading hub. From the city god temple to the Confucian temple, from shrines to the god of wealth to ancestral altars, beliefs and commerce blend into daily life, making the old city not just a place of trade, but a sacred space of shared memory. Today, over 2 million people visit Pingyao annually, not just to trace bricks of the past, but to understand how such a small town once held the financial lifeblood of a dynasty. Pingyao stands as a living testament to ancient Chinese urban life, commerce, and cultural continuity, preserved not in museums but in homes that still breathe and endure. Not far from Pingyao, another ancient capital awaits, once a center of Buddhism and stone-carved art, where thousands of silent statues still tell history through silence. Luoyang, a city nestled in the heart of Henan province, once served as the imperial capital of 13 dynasties, where royal power met the rising light of the Buddha. Spanning more than 2,500 square miles, this ancient city was not only a political center for over a millennium, but also the most vibrant cultural and spiritual hub of northern China. Along the limestone cliffs that line the Yi River, where the water lies still as glass and the rock walls rise like ancient fortresses, stands the Longmen Grottos, a breathtaking Buddhist art complex featuring over 100,000 statues carved into stone. From tiny figures smaller than a hand to the towering 56-foot-tall Vairocana Buddha, each sculpture was chiseled over centuries, from the Northern Wei to the Tang Dynasty, forming a stone sutra, a sacred scripture inscribed through time. Not far away lies Whitehorse Temple, believed to be the first Buddhist temple in China. Here the chanting of monks still fills the air, on the same grounds where two Indian monks once arrived carrying the Dharma from west to east, writing the first chapter of Chinese Buddhist history. But Luoyang is not just a city of stone and temples. In April, peonies bloom across parks and temple courtyards, the imperial flowers symbolizing prosperity and royal elegance, turning the city into a living silk painting in full bloom. The Peony Festival, Buddhist celebrations, and Spring Lantern Festival give Luoyang an energy that is both sacred and alive, like a dream of culture that has never dimmed. Today, more than 4 million visitors each year return here, not only to marvel at stone carvings, but to listen for echoes from 1,000 years ago. Echoes of an age when emperors, monks, and artisans etched light into stone together. This is a city where the heritage of Buddhism and the essence of ancient northern culture are still preserved, where every stone has a story to tell and every flower whispers history. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. From the heart of the Central Plains, we follow the ancient Tea-Horse Road southward toward a colorful riverside town tucked beneath orange cliffs. Lijiang, where an ancient town casts its reflection upon a jade-colored stream, is one of the true gems of the Yunnan Plateau. Spanning just around 212 acres, this historic city preserves a world of its own, where curved tile roofs, dark wooden walls, and green stone canals have witnessed nearly 800 years of quiet passing time. Built in the 13th century, Lijiang was once a vital transfer point along the Tea-Horse Road, a route where caravans carried tea salt medicine and beliefs from Tibet to southern China. The worn stone paths still bear the hoof prints of mules, as if each step carried not only goods, but culture and soul across the land. From that flow, Lijiang became the cultural heart of the Naxi people, an ethnic minority with their own language, rituals, and worldview. They have the Dongba script, an ancient pictographic writing system, Dongjing music with its haunting tones drifting through temple courtyards, and a spirituality that blends Buddhism, Taoism, and reverence for nature. Naxi culture is found in every corner, in houses lacquered crimson and carved with intricate symbols along the canals, in the soft curves of lantern-lit eaves, in the women in embroidered skirts selling sweet pastries on old stone steps. By night, the entire town glows in warm red light, with the sound of pipa strings rippling across the water and the scent of grilled chicken and yak butter tea floating through the cool 66-degree spring air, casting the city into a gentler, dreamlike reality. Visitors to Lijiang rarely leave in a hurry. They pause at Jade Water Bridge to watch reflections dance, or visit Black Dragon Pool to find stillness within the city. Then they wander through over 300 winding alleys as if moving through a labyrinth woven from woodstone and memory. Some say that in Lijiang, you don't walk with your feet, but with your spirit, slowly and mindfully, like a walking meditation. Today, more than 10 million travelers a year come here not just to look, but to slow down. Because Lijiang is a place where time doesn't rush forward. It simply drifts gently between curved rooftops, the splash of water, along ancient stone banks, and a feeling of calm the modern world has long forgotten. Leaving the forests of Yunnan, we drift into the waters of Jiangsu, toward an ancient water town floating quietly like an ink-washed dream, unfolding petal by petal. Zhouzhuang, an ancient town drifting gently atop still waters, is one of the most beautifully preserved water towns in all of China. Founded in 1086 with over 900 years of history, this small settlement lies in the Jiangsu Plains, stretching across just under 4 square miles, yet it carries the soul of an entire riverside civilization. Nearly 60% of the houses in Zhouzhuang date back to the Ming and Qing dynasties, with curved tiled roofs, intricately carved wooden doors, and shaded eaves casting soft reflections onto the quiet canals flowing beneath them. 14 stone bridges span these winding waterways, like silken ribbons, most famously the twin bridges, 2 arches joined at a right angle, symbolizing reunion and harmony. From narrow wooden boats drifting along the channels, boatmen hum quietly recounting stories of wealthy merchants who once lived in mansions like the Shen House, where antiques, calligraphy rooms, and secret rock gardens still rest behind heavy wooden doors. On festival days, locals release floating lanterns, recreate wedding ceremonies on boats, or race dragon boats to the beat of drums and cheers. In small temples along the banks dedicated to river gods, ancestors, and the city god incense, still rises thick into the air as if time has forgotten to move on. Today, over 3 million travelers each year visit Zhouzhuang, not just to photograph the stone bridges or sample river shrimp, suzhou tea, and sticky rice cakes, but to touch a lifestyle once widespread across southern China, a life built around water bound to rivers, where the heartbeat flows with each paddle stroke. Zhouzhuang is often called the Venice of the East, not just for its bridges and canals, but for its enduring sense of grace, quiet nostalgia, and elegant stillness, where the river carries not only reflections but memory itself. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video. Farther southwest, another ancient town still shines by the Tuo River, its rooftops brushing the sky, and its soul brushing something deep within us. Phoenix, ancient town named after 2 mythical firebirds who vowed never to part, is tucked between the hills of Hunan Province along the jade-colored Tuo River. Founded in 1371, this little town spans just under 4 square miles, and yet for over 6 centuries it has remained so beautifully intact that even time itself seems to have slowed down to preserve its charm. Along smooth, time-worn stone streets, wooden stilt houses line the riverbanks, leaning slightly, yet standing strong, painting a living portrait of life in southern China's mountain regions. This is a meeting place of 3 ethnic groups, the Miao, Tujia, and Han, each bringing a unique thread to the cultural tapestry of the town. Phoenix is not a museum, it's a river in motion. By day, the Tuo River reflects rooftops, stone bridges, and wooden boats loaded with bundles of fresh herbs and sticky rice. By night, the town glows with lanterns as locals perform folk dances, sing from wooden stages, and the air fills with the mingling scents of fermented tofu, spicy snails, and bamboo tube rice carried gently on the chill of early spring. In the center of it all is the Rainbow Bridge connecting both banks of the Old Town. Miao tradition holds that if lovers walk across it together on a full moon night, their bond will last forever. Nearby stands the former residence of Shen Kongwen, one of modern China's most beloved writers, a place where literature and memory still reside. Legend has it that two phoenixes once flew over this place, captivated by its beauty, and refused to leave. The townspeople named it Phoenix in honor of this auspicious omen, a wish for peace everlasting. Phoenix Ancient Town is a blend of history, architecture, and highland identity, where people don't just live beside nature, but within it as an inseparable part of the earth, sky, and legend. Leaving these ancient alleyways behind, we arrive at three pagodas of Dali, where white chrysanthemums bloom by the lake and snow-capped peaks reflect in still mirror-like waters. The three pagodas, three ancient towers standing proudly at the foot of Kangshan Mountain, their reflections shimmering in the waters of Erhai Lake, are the most profound cultural and spiritual symbol of the Bai people in Dali. Built between the 9th and 10th centuries during the Nanzhao and Dali kingdoms, this sacred complex is not only a Buddhist architectural marvel, but also a testament to a faith that has endured over 1,000 years of storms and silence. Xiangshun Pagoda, the main tower, rises 227 feet, its 16 square tiers ascending like a spiritual spire piercing the sky. Flanking it are two smaller pagodas, each over 138 feet tall, standing in perfect balance like the folded hands of a meditating giant embracing the stillness of Chongsheng Temple nestled behind. Locals believe the three pagodas were built to calm a fierce dragon that once stirred chaos in the region, bringing peace and prosperity to Dali. And indeed, despite enduring numerous earthquakes over the centuries, they still stand silent witnesses to the enduring power of belief and harmony. During Buddhist festivals, Bai villagers gather here holding incense in quiet hands, their eyes half-closed, lips softly chanting, as if nothing has changed in 1,000 years. Folk dances echo through the courtyards, silver gongs ring out, and the sacred 3 dishes and 6 traditional offerings are performed solemnly at the base of the pagodas, where faith and daily life remain intertwined. Today, around 2 million visitors come each year, not just to admire, but to feel. In a sacred space spanning barely 0.4 square miles, they find a stillness that no modern city can offer, where stone is not merely material, but memory, devotion, and a promise that still stands. The three pagodas have remained upright for over a millennium, not merely as structures, but as living proof of faith, artistry, and the human yearning to reach skyward. There are journeys that don't take us anywhere at all except back to ourselves, back to that quiet part within us that was once forgotten, once silent, yet always longing to be seen. This journey across 18 hidden places in China is not simply a walk through mountains and rivers. It is a passage through the folds of history, the breath of culture, and the quiet rhythm of beliefs that have endured for thousands of years. We once stood before the Great Wall, where each stone seemed to carry the weight of a vow to protect a homeland. We fell silent in the 3 parallel rivers, where 3 mighty currents flow side by side, never merging yet peacefully, coexisting like fates that have learned not to compete. We looked up at the 1,000 stone eyes of the Mogao caves, where Buddhism was painted not just with hands, but with faith. And we bowed before the 3 pagodas of Dali, where those towers have listened to the wind speak of eternity for over a millennium. From the yin-yang rooftops of Lijiang to the mossy bridges of Zhouzhuang, the drifting riverfronts of Phoenix ancient town, and the mirrored gates of the Wankun dreamscape, each place awakened the same quiet realization that nature, culture, and spirit are not separate, not in conflict, but one continuous stream, slow, weighty, and full of presence. This journey does not end with a closing door, but with a soft awakening inside the traveler. That true beauty does not lie in the new, but in something ancient that still lives in our collective memory, in the wind and water, in lantern light and temple bells. And if somewhere along the way you felt your heart slow down, your eyes grow quieter, then perhaps this journey has never really ended. Because there are places that once you pass through, you don't carry them on your shoulders, you carry them in your heart. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the next video.